Hi, today I am going to go through my makeup collection, which this is all of my makeup except for my eyeshadow palettes. I have over 300 eyeshadow palettes, so I can't very well keep them all right there in sight. But I'm going to go through my makeup collection that I have here in front of you, and I'm going to declutter some of the things. So yeah, I just need to curate my collection a little bit more. And that's why I've been avoiding doing a shop my stash, because I just feel a little overwhelmed with how much makeup I have right now. And so I want to just curate it down a little bit. So if that sounds good to you, keep on watching because we're getting into it now. So here we are on the first section. I'm going to go ahead and just pull out this tray and use it to collect some of the items. So let's just start off. Actually, I want to start off up here. This is actually what prompted me to do the video, is that I went to go use my darker Pat McGrath foundation now that I have a tan, and it smelled really funky. It's definitely expired, so I just want to go through and curate my collection to what I'm actually using. And I just want to have less so that I can really keep up with it and use it up and get a lot more use out of it instead of a little bit of use out of a lot of different products. So yeah. And I'm not going to be buying double colors or even triple colors anymore in my foundations. So I really want to just like use up what I have. Yeah, I had said a while back that I wanted to check out a bunch of different foundations, but I don't feel that way anymore. I just want to have like one or two go-to items that I use all the time. So I want to just declutter, and that's where I want to start here in the foundation section. So let me put you on a tripod so that I can hold still, like so that I can use both of my hands. Okay, so let's get started here. I apologize that my nails aren't done or anything. I really just want to get this done. So I have my magnifying glass here so I can make sure I can see everything. And I'm just going to go ahead and declutter. All right, I am keeping this About Face foundation and this one up here. This is the one that I'm currently using, and I like that these aren't super full. I mean, I do have a lot of products still, but I can see that, like, I can kind of see through the bottle a little bit on this one. I feel like it's, yeah, right there is like the show line. Oh, you can kind of see right there, I'm getting a little bit of a show line. That's my lighter shade that I was using before I started getting some sun. So that one is just here in the container, but I did go back to the first shade that I purchased by mistake. This one here is in light medium to olive, LM2 olive, and it's a pretty good shade match for me, so I really like that. Been using that one right now. And same with this L'Oreal True Match. This is the N4. I feel like maybe I would have liked if they had an olive shade, but this is pretty close to my skin tone, and it's working really great for me. I hate how dirty the container gets, and I just never wipe it down because I just like keep using it. But I do have some good use going through here. I feel like it's somewhere right around here because it doesn't feel completely full, but I do still have a lot of this. This was the first shade that I purchased, and it was a little bit too dark for me up until now. Now it's a perfect shade match. So I'm really using this a lot right now for like quick, easy go-tos. This is my favorite formula as far as the way that it lays on the skin and the way that it applies, the way that it feels, the way that it wears. It's a beautiful foundation. I just wish I could get a slight more olive tone out of it. So I do really like the About Face. Especially because of the shade range, but I do prefer the finish of the L'Oreal one just a little bit, but I like them both a lot. These are my two current go-to foundations. Okay, so I am keeping this light one. This one here, this is the light medium 10, and honestly, it was too peach for me even when I was light, but I might be able to wear it. Let me smell it. Yeah, this one's gone bad too. Yeah, see, this is a very expensive foundation. And like, I'm down to about here. I can see the show line right there. Maybe you can too. I'm not sure. But I'm down to about right there now, which isn't that much more since I had last checked it in my project pan. Maybe it's about there. I can see like a dark line. Anyway, I didn't get enough use. I did not get $68 worth out of this. And this one too. This is the one that prompted this declutter. This is the light medium 14. So you can see I did get a lot more use out of this one, but definitely not enough use to warrant the price tag. And although I do really enjoy the Pat McGrath foundation, like the way that it looks on my skin, I have not been able to get a good shade match. I'm going to declutter both of these. I might go into the store and try to get shade matched to see if I can find another one, but as it stands right now, that's just not working for me. Okay, and so here I've got this Revlon Illuminance. I really did enjoy the texture of this for more of like a light coverage kind of a moment, but it was really dewy, a lot more dewy than I really appreciate. I had to really powder it down, and the shade was too light, although the undertone was really nice. So I looked a little bit ghostly, but it didn't make me look sickly. Any of my olive skin tone people will understand what I'm saying. But anyway, I did get some good use. I have some show like here in the window starting to happen, unless that's just like is that right? Yeah, so I do have some show going, but I don't even know how long this lasts. Let me see. It says 24 months. So by the time I get light again this winter here in a few months, I will probably be able to give this a little bit more usage. So I'm going to save this until my end of the year declutter. And if it's not a good shade match for me then, well, hold on. I've only had this since it released and it hasn't been 2 years yet. So I'm going to keep this until I can match it. All right. This one here is the darker one, and this is probably a good, oop, my dog just bumped the camera. Go, baby, go. Come this way. Oop. Go. Come this way, baby. Okay. Sorry. This is the medium tan shade, and this would probably be this is the medium tan shade in the Wet n Wild tinted. Okay, I did mention the others. All right. This is the Wet n Wild Bare Focus Tinted Hydrator, and this is the medium tan shade. This is probably a really good match for me right now. So I'm going to pull this into the forefront to be used. I'm going to put that back in there. This is too light for me right now, but I want to keep it. Same with this. This is the one that I think I got this one at first. And you can see I got a lot of use out of this. Let me see how long this thing even lasts. It says lift. I'm sorry if you hear my dog snoring in the background. Okay, there's the little expiration dealie right there. If I can get access to it. I still have dexterity issues from like where I'm still like coming back from all kinds of autoimmune conditions. Okay, this is a 12-month shelf life. I'm gonna have to go back and remember when I got it. It still smells really good though. I think it's still fine. And this will be like one of my transition shades for as I'm losing my tan. So I'm gonna save that one. This one here expires, wow, it expires in October of 2024. What about this one? This one is expiring next month. This one is my darker one. No, this is the lighter one. I'm not going to be ready for this one next month. This is the darker one. It's the medium. And I only have like 2 more months tops on this one. Okay, this one here, I'm going to just go ahead and declutter it. I regret the fact that I got such a light shade. It is so full and it literally is going to expire next month. So I can't even give this to my mom to use it. So I'm just going to get rid of this. See, this is what I'm talking about. Even though I got the mini, because the shades aren't just right, I end up wasting so much product and so much of my money trying to get a shade match. So I'm just going to stop using these really popular foundations that don't provide an olive tone. and my L'Oreal being the exception because their neutral one is close enough to me. It's like really close. But anyways, all right, I'm gonna declutter the light one because I'm not gonna be light enough for it by next month. And this one here that's darker, I'm gonna make it a point to use this foundation over the next like month and a half, and then in October I'm gonna have to get rid of this. Like after October I can't use it anymore. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this at the forefront so I can get some use out of it. All right, and then I've decided that although I did enjoy the glowy effect with this Halo Glow, this is the second shade that I purchased. Is that right? No, I've only purchased one. I purchased like one of the lightest shades. This one here is in the shade Fair. Yeah, Zero Fair. So I got the Zero Fair shade, and that was when I was much lighter. I did, like I mentioned, recently start laying out like the last couple weeks, so I've really gotten dark. I get a tan really fast. Anyway, this is not only too light for me, but when I went to go use it, I don't know, I felt like I didn't really like it that much anymore. Let me see when it expires. It does last 12 months. I don't think I've had it quite that long, and I think it's probably about up to here in the usage, but I decided I'm not really a fan of this product. I did specifically like it underneath the About face because using them together helps keep this from feeling quite as matte. It's not like super matte or anything. It just gives a little bit more of like a luminous effect when you pair them together. And so I really did like the effect of that, but I've decided I don't want, like, I'm not a fan of this e.l.f. one. I'm going to try, I think I want to try I want to try the one from Say Beauty, especially because I ended up loving this concealer so very much that now I'm like really interested in checking out other things from the brand. And I saw that they do have a glowy like luminizer for underneath, and I did really enjoy having a luminizer with this foundation specifically. And since I have 2 bottles to go through, I feel like I could get some good use out of a luminizer, but I don't want this one anymore. So I'm going to pick up the one from Say, and I'm going to go ahead and declutter this today. All right, here's the little declutter pile going so far from this container. Okay, and then here I've got a super light shade that I actually picked up right before summer hit, and I was getting more pale, really pale, to where this one was too dark, the W3, and the N4 was definitely too dark. That's the one that I'm using now. That's the one that I picked up first. Anyway, I regret picking this up. I should have just been patient and maybe used one of my other foundations. But again, I just really love this foundation so much that I just started reaching for it. And so even in the couple weeks that I got it, I got that much use out of it while I was pale. But now, I've got a tan. This is not my shade. So I'm going to save this for here in the upcoming winter, and I can work my way down in shade match. This is going to be the one foundation here that I don't mind like having multiples of, because not only are the containers smaller than the luxury packaging, than the luxury brands offer, like of course excluding a mini, but like this is a huge amount of foundation, and it's super expensive. I mean, it's a beautiful formula, and that's fine. I'm not complaining. I'm simply making a comparison. This foundation is a much smaller packaging. It's a lot easier to go through it in a quicker time, and it's way, way more affordable. So I don't mind having a variety of shades like in, you know, a drugstore formula that I really enjoy, such as these, but and even the About face, because it's $20, but you know, I feel like more than $20 or $25, I'm not really willing to have multiples of it. Like I was honestly contemplating going to buy a new double wear, because as you can see here, I haven't used this one in a long time, and this is the wear that I've got out of it so far, but it is too light for me right now. It's a too warm olive, and it was actually a little bit too light for me even when I got it, but because it was an olive undertone, I was able to make it kind of work with some heavy bronzer. So needless to say, this is not a good shade match for me at all. And it was a pretty expensive foundation, but I did pick this one up on the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty, so I did at least get half price, but it's still, even at half price, it's a lot of money to be wasting when it's not a good shade match for me, and I'm not going to be able to keep using it all year through. So I don't really know how I feel about that one yet. But anyways, my point is I'm not willing to buy, I'm not going to allow myself to buy multiple shades of these high-end foundations. I don't mind doing that here in the drugstore formulas, especially this particular one, because each of the shades match my skin so beautifully when I was at this tan level, like for each of them. And so, yeah, I'm highly, highly impressed with this L'Oreal True Match. I love that they reformulated it. If they hadn't have added if they hadn't have added a top, like a lid to it, instead of just like a pour out or a squeezy tube, whatever they might have had before, I don't know, because I never used it since they didn't have this pump on it. If they hadn't have added the pump, I never would have tried this foundation. That is no joke, but I really love it so much. Okay, that's enough about that one. On to this one here from Giorgio Armani. You can see that I haven't used it in a long time. I did try to get a lot of use out of it. It was in one or two of my panning projects, which my panning project, my one for this year kind of fell to the wayside. I felt like I really failed at it. I haven't even given any updates or anything. I have been using some of the products, but that's neither here nor there for this video. I need to work on giving some updates for that and figuring out what I'm going to do with that project. Anyhow, I haven't used this because it is too light for me. Where's the shade? I can't remember. There it is. This is in the shade 4.5, and it was just a tad too ghostly for me. So I started off with it being way too light, and then I just got darker as time went on since I've had this. So because I bought this like in the winter, but even then it was too light for me in the winter. I do like that I was able to pick up a mini, and even the mini is pretty expensive, but I picked this particular mini up at a particular time when Sephora had a foundation sale, and they had like the minis included, and I think it was like a 20% off of foundations, and I was like, I want to try this one out, especially in a mini. So I guessed my color and I guessed wrong, but it's really hard to find foundations online, especially when you're an olive tone and my shade changes so much. So although I did really love the way this foundation looked on me, it was just, I didn't really appreciate the scent of it, and I don't want to buy foundations that have scent in them because it irritates my skin. And even if it doesn't feel like it irritates my skin, like it's bad for me, it's not good for your endocrine system. So yeah, anyway, all that to say, this is not a good shade match for me, and I don't like the perfumed nature of it. Although it's a beautiful finish, I am going to go ahead and declutter. So then, more expensive, like another expensive foundation, wasting my money. Like, this is what I'm saying. This is kind of frustrating for me because it's really hard for me to find a good shade match for my skin tone. Okay, now these Believe Beauties, I have not had, like the first one that I got, I've had a long time, but these other two that I bought haven't been that long ago. And let's see how long it lasts. It doesn't even say here. It doesn't have a little picture of like how long it lasts. How are you supposed to know when it expires? Made in Germany. This soft beige was such a beautiful color, but yeah, it smells kind of like Play-Doh. I feel like it's just gone bad. I got so much use out of it. It's all the way down to here. This is a $5 foundation that looks so beautiful, but it is a very like full coverage glam kind of moment. So if you don't like to feel your foundation on you, you might not enjoy this as much, but for $5 and the finish that it provides, I really like it. I did hear in one of my friend's channels, like one of her videos, her and her sister were talking. I did hear in one of their videos that they mentioned that Believe Beauty might be going out of Dollar General, and they had all this stuff on clearance, like 50% off or whatever. I'm going to go and look and see if that's the case at the one near me. And if that's happening, I'm going to go and pick up like another one of these shades. But this one is so old, I'm going to go ahead and declutter it. And this is the shade that I'm going to try to pick up since I'm so tan right now. This is the shade Soft Beige. This one here is super light, but I have not had it very long. I did pick it up in the winter, but then I feel like it got too light for me really quick or something like that. I can't remember. Maybe I picked it up and it was too light to begin with. I'm going to go ahead and keep it for a while because it's not old. These are old, and I decided that I don't like the dewy one. Like, it looks okay, but it doesn't wear very well. It doesn't last as long. So I won't ever be repurchasing the dewy one. This one here is in the shade, oh, where does it say? Buff Bisque. Okay, and then this one here is in the matte, and this is also in the Buff Bisque. I do really enjoy the matte formula, but this one I've had a while, and as you know, the smell of this gets really bad when it's gone off. That actually doesn't smell bad. That one doesn't smell bad. I think it's the other one that smelled bad. Let me look. So this one's still good. And I didn't even like it anyways, the dewy one. Oh, I forgot what kind of top it was. Yeah, this one smells a little bit off. So this one's going to go, and I didn't like it anyways. So this one's a declutter. The Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation in the Dewy Luminous in the shade Buff Bisque. This one's going to be decluttered. I am going to keep the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation in the matte in the shade Buff Bisque. I really do like this. This looks so beautiful on my skin, but the L'Oreal True Match does look nicer. But these two work like those two drugstore foundations I've really been enjoying. I've been so shocked with how much I've been liking drugstore foundations. Who would have ever thought? Okay, Neutral Tan. This is the one that I got when I started being, oh, I think I got this to replace it. This looks like it has like settled, or maybe it's just more liquidy than this one. Yeah, these others feel thicker. Let me see what's happening. It doesn't, oh, I just got foundation on my nose. It doesn't smell bad at all. And I believe, haha, see what I did this Believe Beauty. I believe that this Believe Beauty in the shade Neutral Tan might be a good match for me right now. So I will try to pull this into the forefront and get some use out of this one too. So let me move this one that's too light, that one that's too light, and put the ones that are the right shade here in the front, so that maybe I can open up some more space up here. Okay, which one is the light one? Medium tan and light medium. Yeah, so this light one, I've had it a while. I don't think it's going to be the right shade for me by the time I'm light again, and this one smells like it's gone off. So I should have gotten more use out of this. I was using it for a good while. As a matter of fact, I completely emptied one out, and this was a replacement. And then I ended up getting darker, so I got a darker one. And I just haven't used it enough because I've been loving this one so much, and because I've been loving the About Face Beauty so much. But anyways, I'm going to try to make it a point to get some use out of this darker one. I've got to go ahead and declutter this. This is pretty affordable though, so like I don't mind having duplicates in this, and I don't mind replacing it. I don't like throwing away this much of a product. I mean, I did get some use out of it, as you can see. I don't like wasting this much product, but I mean, at least it was like literally under $8, and I don't feel quite as bad as I do like with these others over here. All right. So let's see what else we've got. So far, all of these back here are good shades for when I'm lighter. And that leaves me with the Estee Lauder Double Wear. Okay, this is in the shade, like I said, Too Warm Olive. It was too light for me to begin with. I know it's got a 2-year shelf life. I've only had it maybe a year and a half. It wasn't the right shade anyways, as sad as this is. And I did like the way that this looked, but you got to have good hydration underneath and make sure that you exfoliated beforehand. I do like the way that it looks and it wears really nicely. I would consider repurchasing this if I could find a better shade match, but I don't like that they make you buy the pump separately. And I've heard that the pump doesn't carry well from one bottle to the next. I heard that in another one of my YouTuber friends' channels videos. Like she mentioned that when she was doing her Estee Lauder double wear video today that I just finished watching, which is what prompted me to come over here and check out my foundations. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and sadly let go of this very full bottle. It's like up to here. And that's because, again, it was so light that I never really could get good use out of it. It was just too much effort to try to make it match my skin. So this one's gonna go, sadly. Okay, and so this is the one that I'm gonna try to focus on the most right now. Is this the dark shade? Yeah, all right. So these are all of my current foundations right here. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shade range, like 6 matches of foundations for me right now. Let me pull you down a little closer so you can get a really good look at them. All right, so this is what I am left with. This is my row of foundations that I'm working with currently. And then back here, I've got the lighter ones. This is just an empty, smaller bottle that, like, if I'm gonna go traveling, I will refill it from my bigger one. And then this actually leaves me space to keep my setting sprays here where I can use them and them not be too crowded. And that'll actually keep me from reaching for those. This here, I don't know why I decided, like it came in some sort of a gift set or something that I picked up. And I don't know why I haven't gotten rid of it because it did break me out before. But for whatever reason, I want to try it again. Maybe not because it's like heavily scented, like floral scent, if I remember correctly. And I believe that's what probably broke me out. Anyway, in case I have a friend that ever comes over and wants to use, like wants to try it or whatever, I don't know. I mean, I have it, it's here. I don't want to throw it away, but I don't have anybody to give it to right now. So yeah, I'm just gonna leave it there for now. But okay, I feel like that was a really nice declutter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I got rid of 8 foundations and a glowy. And I'm keeping 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm keeping 10 foundations and I got rid of 8. I feel really good about that. And as you can see inside the container now, I've got like really good space in there. So I do like that a lot. Here are the foundations that I'm getting rid of. Let's move on to the next category. All right, let's work on the concealers next. I do have a lot of concealers that I really enjoy, but it's really hard for me to do my shop my stashes and see everything that I have without having like a big mess. I just have too much going on. And now that I've like tried out a few other formulas, I just feel like there's concealers in here that aren't going to get an opportunity to be used because I'm just not going to reach for those over these others. So let me go ahead and just pare them down. All right. I'm going to move that over a little bit and we'll get started here. So this is my current top favorite concealer. It is just a little bit too light for me. I have it here in the shade number 7. It's a fine shade, like undertone match, but it is more of like a brightening concealer. So this will work better for me as an all over match when I lose my tan. But right now that I'm getting so dark, it's like hella brightening. I'm not getting rid of this though. This is my most recent concealer purchase. I purchased this on a recommendation of Lisa J in one of her videos for over 40. But anyway, yeah, I really love this so much and it's not going anywhere. I just wish it was a little bit darker. Speaking of a little bit darker, I do have a beautiful olive toned concealer here in the shade 2 Warm Olive from Dior. This is the Forever Skin Correct. And this was in a project pan and I've gotten some good use out of it. I did start using it like a month ago when I started getting darker, and it matches really nicely with my darker About Face foundation, like for spot concealing on my cheeks. It still smells good. I'm not sure. I feel like I'm probably coming up on about 2 years with this. So I feel like I need to just, this is probably going to have to go at the end of the summer. I want to try to make a concerted effort to use this for spot concealing, like around my face, specifically when I'm using my About Face foundation. That one's going to stay. Here, let's do all three of my Huda Beauty at one time. I've got the first one here that I purchased. This is the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Concealer. This one is in the shade Sugar Biscuit, and this was a beautiful, like slightly brightening concealer for me. Hold on, wait. This was a beautiful skin tone matching concealer for me when I was lighter, but now that I'm dark, it's, hold on, wait. This was a good shade match for me before I got a tan, and so I used it for like a regular skin match concealer. I picked up the Faux Filter Huda Beauty color corrector in the shade Pink Palmello. Yeah, Pink Palmello. And I do like the way these two specifically work together. When I started getting lighter though, this got to be way too dark for me under my eyes, and it was better like as a spot concealer on my cheeks, because I do enjoy a brightening concealer oftentimes. And so anyways, I went and picked up a brighter one when I was light, and I got mine in the color Coconut Flakes. Now it is way bright. It's even brighter than the Say, so I can't use it right now, but it's still good and I'm going to keep it. I want to try to get some more use out of this concealer right now before it goes bad. So these right here are the two concealers that I really want to focus on right now in life before they expire and I can't get any more of my money's worth out of them. So I'm going to keep those right there. And then I have been noticing that although I do like the way the color corrector works, I don't like it, for example, with my Say Beauty. The Say Beauty doesn't need the color corrector. I just feel like it's so perfect and the finish is so skin-like that when I tried to add even the smallest amount of this color corrector underneath it, it just kind of mixed and it's like too creamy and it just mixed. I don't know. This Huda Beauty color corrector works really, really lovely, specifically with the Huda Beauty concealer. So I like using these in unison. The Coconut Flakes is too bright for me for right now while I'm tanned, but I'll be using that as my fan. Oh gosh. I'll be using the Coconut Flakes as my tan fades, but for right now it's too light for me. And I want to try to focus on using these two in like the coming weeks because I'm darker and that's a good time for me to use this faux filter. It might even be slightly brightening under my eyes now that I am so dark. Like I'm not that dark, but I'm a lot darker than I was when I had no tan. So anyway, yeah, I'm going to keep both of those as well. And let's see. All that's left in here really, this was the second to most recent concealer that I purchased. I purchased this when it was on sale. It was on sale for like half price, $12. And this is actually a nice brightening / color corrector mix. This one here is in the shade Beige. It is a slight bit peachy, so I don't like using the Bobbi Brown concealer with the Huda Beauty color corrector. It's too orange. They just get too orange. And so if you're gonna be using, like if you want a 2-in-1, I would say the Bobbi Brown, if you're like my skin tone, the Bobbi Brown Beige acts as a little bit of color correcting within the concealer. So you might want to give that a go. I'm not a big fan of the Doe Foot, the way it's got that like hole, that little like dip out where it's like a scoop. I don't like the way that applies, but you know, whatever. This is not my favorite concealer. It's okay. If you use too much of it, it can cake and crease. So you got to be like really strategic when you use this. But I'm going to go ahead and keep that one for now, especially because I haven't had it that long. And that leaves me with these three really, really light drugstore concealers. I have been trying, I've gone back and forth on this one. It's a nice concealer. I picked up a different shade, but I still got it a little bit, like it was nice for me when I picked it up, but it's too dark for me now. So I mean, it's too light for me now. I'm too dark for it. And same with this one. This one I've been holding on trying to finish it off, but it is certainly way too light for me now. And it got too light for me after a while, which is why I stopped using it. It was a little brightening to begin with. The next time that I pick one up, if I ever pick one up, because I did really, really enjoy this concealer. I don't like this little sponge at the top, but I did take it off and wash it. Ooh, I just got concealer on me. Great. Anyways, I did take it off and wash it once or twice. So yeah, but I'm done with this. I was trying to use it up and it's just not the right shade match for me anymore. It's probably coming up expired really soon. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and declutter this concealer. And this Believe Beauty I got not that long ago, but it is too light for me, way too light for me, and not the right undertone. It's a little bit too cool tone and pink. So this was a waste of like $5 or whatever it was. I don't know. Anyway, this is also just not the right undertone and too bright, and it's just not going to work. This is in the shade Shell. I think that I picked it up because that's what my mom calls me and it's cute. Anyways, I'm just kidding. I got the wrong shade. I thought Shell might work for me. I was hoping it would because I was light at the time, but this is just not happening for me anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and declutter those three concealers. Let me go ahead and stand them up so we can look at them with everything else. Okay, so I'm decluttering those concealers, and that will really clear out my concealer drawer. That is so much nicer. I really like that. Okay, so now I have only my favorite concealers to contend with, and it's not too overwhelming. I can see everything that I have, and I can keep my corrector up here off to the side. Okay, I really like the way that is a lot better. So I'm keeping 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 concealers and a corrector, and I'm decluttering 3 concealers over there. All right. You guys, you're probably so annoyed with me. I still haven't tried this. I said I was going to, but I haven't, and I'm contemplating doing it. These were my birthday gift from Sephora, so wow, hold on. These were my birthday gift from last summer. I've never even used them. They're a year old now. I never even tried them. I think it's probably a good idea to declutter it. Yeah, it says 12 months, but that's from the time of opening. And technically, I haven't opened them at all. I need to either use them or lose them. I'm going to go ahead and keep them in another round. These are the only primers that I have left. Since I decluttered the e.l.f. Halo Glow. I considered that a primer. But yeah, I'm going to leave these as it is. I got to wipe off this makeup. Okay. Next here, I've just got like a bunch of I've got an overflow powder. We might have to do something about these powders because all of a sudden I ended up with a ton of powders. So, all right, here is my powder drawer. I have a ton of powders now, and that's not even all of it. My Huda Beauty, the big one in Pound Cake, is too big to go in my drawer along with everything else, so I have it off to the side. This is the one that I recently purchased to replace this because it's talc free. So this is going to get decluttered since it has talc in it. I got a little bit of use out of it. This was the second one. This was the one that I repurchased, the one that I had panned pretty well in. I'm going to go ahead and call this one gone. Decluttering that. This never did work for me. It was a waste of $4. I got it on clearance. It was a waste of those $4. It's too light. I don't even know how to use it. I don't know. Does it even have a shade? Let me look. No, I guess it doesn't even come in a shade. So maybe I just wasn't using it right. I don't know, but I don't like it at all. So I'm going to just get rid of it. It's taking up space, valuable space in my powder drawer. Okay. I was so excited to find that they do still carry number 7 here in my area. And I really, really like this powder for a pressed powder. If I would have known this was still around, I wouldn't have bought that. But I bought this because I had already bought that and I wanted to see how it compared without the talc. So I've got 2 pressed powders here that are pretty much brand new. I've got them both within 2 weeks from each other. Why did I do that? Okay. Here we've got the Essence All About Matte Fixing Compact Powder. This, I tried it, and I mean, it works okay. It's fine enough. It does have a pretty good long shelf life. It's made in Poland, which is why I wanted to try it. But yeah, it's just like nothing special. And because I have so many pressed powders now, I do really just prefer these 2 over this one. So maybe I would take this for like traveling so that these wouldn't break in my purse. But I do like these powders more. So if they broke, I would just replace them instead of, yeah, I'm gonna declutter this one. So the Essence All About Matte Fixing Compact Powder is decluttered. Okay, so that leaves me with these 2 pressed powders. All right, I have stopped using the Hourglass because I got the Huda Beauty. And just mainly because it's so small. But I do really like the way the Hourglass looks under my eyes. I don't like the way the Huda Beauty Peach Perfect looks under my eyes. But I bought this and I have a lot of it. So, yeah, I've been trying to use this. Maybe I should try mixing them. I need some sort of a container that I can mix them in. But for now, I'm going to keep those 2. I used to like this Bare Minerals Mineral Veil. Like, it used to be okay. I just don't think I need 2 of them. I got these like as gifts with purchase or something. I'm going to give one to my mom. I keep saying that, but I just haven't done it. So I'm going to leave that one to the side and give that one to her. Would I take this traveling with me, like in case I lost my makeup or anything? I don't think I would use this even under the eyes, so it wouldn't be like the same thing as the Hourglass. And I do like the Hourglass better like as a setting powder. This is more of like a finishing powder, but I do have my Hourglass face compact that has the finishing powders in it, this one finishing powder in it that I've been enjoying because I am trying to get consistent good solid use out of this and possibly pan it or whatever. I haven't been reaching for alternatives, and this is just taking up space in my very, very overcrowded powder drawer now. I think I'm gonna just get rid of this. I mean, it's an okay product, but it doesn't hold a candle to Hourglass, and I just don't see myself using it, obviously, which is why they've been sitting here taking up space for so long. Okay, so those are gone. All right, this Units powder, I got this as a gift with purchase. When I purchased the Units canvas eyeshadow pouch, I actually got, this has dog hair stuck on it, so sorry about that, but I actually ended up getting the brushes sent inside and I didn't order them, so the brushes were like a bonus freebie. And I really just wanted this canvas thing to put some eyeshadow brushes in and throw in my purse or something like that on the go. So I ended up getting brushes with it. But when I made this purchase, I got this as a free gift with purchase. So I wasn't expecting to buy it. But as I looked into it, I saw that it was made in the USA. and it made me curious about it. So, I mean, like I used it and it's okay. It's not the greatest. It's not even that great at setting my foundation that I had used it with. So I feel like that's why they were giving this away, is because nobody wants it, nobody likes it. I'm a little torn. I feel like it's wasteful to get rid of it, but I didn't even want it to begin with. So I don't know. I'm going to declutter it. It's just taking up too much space in my container. And I don't see myself using that powder over some of these others. All right, this Coty Airspun talc-free formula. I picked this up when I went and checked out H-E-B for the first time. I haven't even used it. That's that scent everybody's talking about. I picked this up in the shade Honey Beige because it was on clearance. I've never tried the Coty Airspun, and this is the talc-free formula. I'm going to go ahead and check it out just because this is like everybody talks about this and I just want to know what it's about. So I'm going to leave that there. I did pick up the Believe Beauty. Oh, wow, that reminds me of my grandma's powder. My grandma must have used this a long time ago. It has been around a long time. It says established in 1935. My grandma was 20 at that point. Anyway, I did pick up this Believe Beauty powder. It is made in Canada, so I was really curious about that. But this does have talc in it and mica, and I mean, like, it was an okay formula, but it's not going to be better than the Huda Beauty or the Hourglass. And I do like these other two pressed powders better. And this Coty Airspun thing is talc free, and this has talc. And there's like this big trend with getting rid of all the talc. So I'm going to go ahead and just let this go. Sadly. I mean, it was okay enough, but I'm just going to go ahead and let it go. Okay, so that leaves me with enough space to actually be able to put my powders away now. That makes me happy, because this was just way too crowded for a little while. Oh, that's a perfect fit. Now everything has its space. Perfect. Okay. That was hard to get to that point, but it was worth it. All right, here we've got my highlighter drawer. This fell and shattered, and it's a broken mess declutter with carpet powder and dog hair in it now, okay? I just have it in here to remind me that I want to go replace it. I wasn't able to save most of the product, so I can't even like use it broken. But I have it in here to remind me that I do want to go buy one. But I need to take it out of here because it makes me sad and it makes me want to try to use it, but I can't. And I don't want to forget that it's broken and accidentally grab it one day, although I don't think I will, but still, I'm going to go ahead and just put this out on the declutter because it is a declutter and I need to replace it. Here we've got this cute little like Wet n Wild highlighter palette from the Alice in Wonderland. I had originally said I wasn't going to use these and that I just bought them to decorate my drawers with so that I could see something cute when I look inside, but I've decided that I am going to go ahead and try it. Just for the heck of it. It does say not to use it around the eyes or the lips, but I do want to use it around the cheeks. So I'm going to leave that in and check it out. I still haven't used this at all, but I'm going to. I promise I am. Here, I've got this in here just because I've got more space in here. And because the blushes are so glowy, and I use this mostly for the highlighter. I feel like I have been getting some good use. The pillows are starting to look a little bit flat. Not this one though. These two are the least used. These two are the least used blushes, but this one I use the most. So anyways, I've got a lot of use out of these four and minimal use out of these two. But I have been using these two blushes more this summer now that I've gotten darker in the last couple of weeks. So these really fit me nicely. They all do. Anyway, this is the Snake package. I mean, this is the Snake palette in the owl packaging. And here is the colorway that it came in. All right, yeah, this isn't going anywhere. And I have had this palette for quite some time. I don't believe it is, 18 months. Let's see. Ooh, it does smell funky. Sadly, I think it's time to declutter this face palette. It smells a little bit funky. And I did start showing a little bit of wear, like in here, here, and here, but I didn't really use the other powders at all. Felt like this was not a very good use of my money. And I know most people keep these around and use them forever, but I'm gonna go ahead and declutter it because I know it's been way longer than 18 months that I've had it. And although I was using it a couple of weeks ago and it seemed fine on my skin, come to think of it, I did get a breakout like in a weird spot on my cheek where I used this. And I didn't know what that was from. I'll bet you it was from this being older because my skin is really, really sensitive. So I can't use old makeup like on my face like a lot of people do. I'm going to go ahead and declutter this and probably not allow myself to buy another one of these 6 pans because they're really expensive and I did not get enough use out of it. Although I really love face palettes, so that's not true. If they end up releasing something that I can't resist, I'm going to buy it. This is going to get decluttered. Okay, so there went the concealer starting to fall over. Okay, that leaves my highlighter collection really small and meager again. Oh, but I do have some highlighters in my blush palettes, and I'll show you those in a moment. Okay, down here is my bronzer drawer, and again, I just now decided I am going to use these as the way they were intended, so I want to check this bronzer palette out. I'm going to actually open it and use it soon. Here I've got both of my Charlotte Tilburys. The one that is the oldest one is the number 2 medium. I got this when it released. I'm not sure if it has been 2 years now. It still smells beautiful, but I don't know. I'm gonna have to check the purchase date on this, and especially because it is cream, I'm gonna let it go if it's expired. It does say 24 months. So I started trying to pull this. It had gotten too dark for me as I got lighter, so I ended up picking up the fair shade. I've got the shade Fair Pale here. And so I started using that one, which worked really nicely. But now that I'm like darker again, the way that I've been using these to try to get some more use out of this is using this darker one as a bronzer, and then putting the fair shade underneath as a contour. So yeah, this is the fair shade and this is the number 2. Anyways, I want to keep getting some use out of this one. This one still has like at least almost a year longer than this one, but this one might be coming up on expired soon, the darker one. Am I going to repurchase it? I probably will not repurchase it anytime soon. Not because there was anything wrong with it, but just because I'm really enjoying my other bronzer right now and I like the tone of it a lot better than this one. So yeah, whenever this goes, I'm probably not going to repurchase it, but I'm going to try to get as much use out of those 2 as I can before it's time to throw those out. Okay, so this has been my number 1 go-to bronzer lately. Like, I'm shocked. It's in the shade Mykonos. It's the Sephora collection. I love the formula, and turns out I really, really enjoy a reddish undertone in a bronzer. And I think that's because it goes really nicely with my olive skin tone. But this has worked not only really nicely when I'm pale, like more pale than I am now, but it's also working really, really nicely with my tan. I feel like this product here helped me learn that I need red undertones in my bronzer. That's my preference. I just like the way they look on me more. So I won't be repurchasing the Charlotte Tilbury ones. And this NARS one here, I purchased, it's officially been 2 years now. And this thing said it was 18 months old. So let me smell it. It doesn't smell quite as funky as the other ones. Hold on. Yeah, I think it was just the super creaminess of those other ones made it smell a little funky. But this bronzer is a little bit of a weird undertone on me. It's like a little bit kind of orangey. It just all leans a little orangey, which is why I guess there's a coral packaging. But I did make a concerted effort. I had a usage goal on this in one of my Shop My Stashes, and I blew that usage goal away. I did start to actually show some wear on the product, which makes me really happy, especially the bronzer, because I had used the bronzer the least. But again, this is a very orangey tone, and I'm really appreciating the red tones on me more. So in hindsight, this was like a mistake purchase. I fell for the packaging, and because it was a Nordstrom anniversary exclusive, and I got swept up in the hype. But I do regret buying this. I'm going to try to keep using like the highlighter, maybe the blush too. Maybe I can mix the bronzer with the other one just to get more use out of it, but I don't think I'm actually ready to declutter this one yet. Did I declutter any bronzers? No. I thought I was going to declutter these, but I decided to use them. No declutters of the bronzers. Sorry. All right. Let's move to... Here I've got my glitter drawer, and I don't have a problem with any of these. These are all staying, and I actually need to get some more use out of them. So I need to pull these into some looks. I think I'm going to be using my glitter palette and some cake liners in my next member exclusive Get Ready With Me. Okay, so here is my favorite section of all. Oops, I'm knocking things over. And that is my blush drawer. It's not my most favorite, but it's one of my top favorites. I've got, how old are these? I mean, it says, oh goodness, 18 months. I've definitely probably had them longer than that. No, I actually haven't. I got them pretty recently, especially this one. This one was one of my most recent ones, and I really need to get some more use out of this for in the summer. I have started using the highlighter, as you can see, so maybe I should put this in my highlighter drawer and I would reach for it more often. I'm going to do that. Okay. And then that will help me not have like stacks on top of other ones, so I can reach for them easier. This one here, oh, I didn't even tell you what shade that was or what it's called. This is I'm talking about the Pat McGrath Labs Celestial Odyssey Divine Blush and Glow Trio. This is the face palette that came out. This one is in the shade Amber Allure, and it's got the Love Struck Blush, Paradise Venus Blush, and the Venus Nectar Highlighter. I love the Love Struck blush so much. And this particular Pat McGrath palette is the other one that released with that one because they're the same shade. But this one is in the color wave called Galactic Sun. And this has the blush of Divine Rose, Desert Orchid, and the highlighter Golden Nectar. And all of these shades of blushes, except for this one here, the Paradise Venus, I had these shades here in individuals, but they expired. And so I was so happy to get this palette because it also came with, you know, easier packaging to carry and lightweight instead of those like plastics that I hated. And it has a highlighter in it. So I have got good use out of this one, but I need to use it some more, especially like when I get a little bit lighter. But maybe I could use this highlighter again. I kind of miss it. And then this other Pat McGrath palette that I have here is, oh, this one isn't from the Bridgerton. I don't know what that's from. I think that's a holiday palette, actually. But yeah, this one is from the Bridgerton release. This is the Pat McGrath x Bridgerton face palette. It's the Divine Blush and Glow Trio Love at First Blush. This has, oh my gosh, some of my favorite blush shades as well. The blush shade is Cherish. I love that one so much. And also Nymphette, which is a beautiful, barely there, but gorgeous blush on the skin. And it's got the Venus Nectar highlight. Do I have two Venus Nectars? No, this is Venus Nectar and Golden Nectar. What was this other one? Yeah, I do. I thought that sounded familiar. I have two Venus Nectar highlights, and actually this one's older. I've had it a lot longer. So when this one expires, I have a replacement over here. So that's nice. But yeah, I did use this one some. As you can see, it's got like some marks through it, but I need to get some more use out of this palette. I really love the Pat McGrath blushes. I have this little one here that came as a gift with purchase, and this is in the shade Paradise Venus, which is a mini of the one that's in here, which is why I haven't gotten a lot of use out of this. But like if I want to take this in a makeup bag or something, this would be a nice little small blush. And I love that she started doing her blushes in minis just because they're so pigmented and you really don't need that much product. It's just so much product wasted. And so if the blush can be a little bit smaller packaging, you don't waste as much and you don't have to pay quite as much, but you still get the full effect of the Pat McGrath blush. I love that so much. Here is my one and only cream blush. I love this so much. This is the Morphe Blush Balm in the shade Electric Lavender. Here is what the shade looks like. This is my purple blush. I love this blush so very much. Still smells fine. I need to use it some more because I want to try to get as much use out of this as possible before it expires. Let me check the expiration life. Okay, it says 24 months. I have not had it quite that long, thankfully, but this will be my last summer with it, like my last season with it. I don't think I'll be using this in the winter anymore. So I want to try to get as much use out of this as possible here in the last few weeks of summer and the early parts of fall. So be on the lookout for a lot of purple looks. I love this product so much. I wish Morphe still made it. It was really, really good. And I should have picked up a bunch more other colors, but I'm not into cream blush. The reason why I picked this one up was because it was a beautiful looking purple shade. And I couldn't pass this up. I was so curious. And it looks so beautiful on. I love the shade of this blush. Okay. Did I declutter anything from here? No, but I did move something over to another container, which makes this drawer a lot less cluttered. So that was helpful. Here is a little bit overflowing as well. Originally, I was going to declutter these and take them out, but I am going to go ahead and use it. So I want to check that out. Here I've got my 2 Sephora Collection blush shades. I haven't even tried this one yet. This is so beautiful. This is in the shade Poppy. This is the one that I tried that made me end up liking it so much. Oh, no. I did try the shade Poppy. This is the one that I did use a little bit. You can't tell it doesn't have much usage on it, but I've used it not only as an individual on this side, but as mixing them both, and it's really pretty both ways. I have not used English Rose yet. It looks really pretty. Here are my 2 favorite NARS blush palettes. This was my first introduction into NARS, and because I loved these so much, I jumped at that orange palette over there, and that orange one was a mistake. But here we've got the Basic Instincts 1 and the Basic Instincts 2, and these are the shades of the blushes that are found within each one. This is what the palette looks like. I have gotten a lot of use out of this palette, as you can tell. And believe it or not, even this really light shade shows up on me, and it's really pretty, even with my current tan. But it was really nice on my olive skin tone, although you wouldn't think so. This is my least favorite shade just because I'm not really a fan of these salmony shades of pink, but this blush does look nice on me. And that, I'm guessing that that's the OX shade, the OX. This is the O Classic, and this is the OX. So I'm not a fan of the OX. Anyway, this is my least favorite palette of these 2, but I got them both at the same time, and I actually didn't pay for either of these. They were purchased with Ulta Rewards one summer when I did like a huge Ulta Rewards shop. This one is the other one. This is what this one looks like. This is my most used one, believe it or not. It covers all the gamut. It's got such a variety of blush in here. And in hindsight, I wish I would have only bought this one palette because I probably would have shown a lot more use out of it, and I could have bought something else instead of this one. But I'm really happy with the formula of all 8 of these blushes. I love them so much, and I get a ton of use out of them. I need to use them some more before they expire. Oh, wow. These are 12 months shelf life. I've definitely been using these for 2 years. I should declutter them, but I just can't bring myself to stop using them. They're so beautiful. So if I notice any kind of irritation or a breakout when I use these next, then I'm going to have to declutter them in my next declutter. But for now, these are staying in, and I want to get some more use out of them. This Rare Beauty blush, it's got to go. I'm not a fan. I don't like the tone. I don't like the texture. I don't like the packaging. I don't like the product delivery system. I don't like liquid blushes. It's just not my thing. All right, so that did clear out hardly anything. One blush. I got rid of one blush. Well, and a blush palette over here. So I feel like that's a lot of blush for a blush lover to declutter. Okay, and so if you come in here close to my collection, back here, I just have these little makeups as decor. This is an old blush palette from the Pure X Barbie collection. I probably could use them because they're just like powders. They're not creamy like the NARS one, but I didn't ever really use it. I just bought it for the decor. I had intended to use this when I bought it because I love blush palettes, but the pan sizes are just so skinny and narrow that it was like annoying to even try. So I just didn't. But I leave it here for the decor. And then back here, I have the original Hourglass palette that I first ever tried. And I leave that there to remind me of how little usage I actually got from this palette so that I can make a concerted effort to use these palettes if I'm going to buy them. So I leave that one there, not only because I love elephants and the packaging is really pretty, but as a reminder to use the one that I purchased this year since this one already expired. I know a lot of people do use their powder products, especially the Hourglass ones, for a super long time after they're expired, but I don't know. For me, I just feel kind of weird about that because my skin is so sensitive. So I don't know. Maybe I should try to pull this palette in and give it a go and just see what happens. But as it stands right now, I don't use it and it's just there for decor to remind me to use my other one. I did really like the tones and the powders that are in this particular palette. So it's sad that I didn't use it more. But I also keep it here to remind me of the shades of the powders that I enjoyed in case I want to purchase them, like as an individual powder. So, okay, here I've got some lipsticks. I'm not decluttering any of my lipsticks right now. I just got those not that long ago, the whole set. And over here, I probably need to get some use out of these three because they're older, but I'm not going to declutter my lipsticks right now. So, and this is brand new. I haven't even used it. Over here, I added this. If you are familiar with my makeup setup, you'll know that this wasn't here before, but I added this to keep my brush collection dust-free when they're not in use and to clear off my actual vanity table. So I just have them kind of separated like this. I've got blenders and shaders, and I had to make myself like a little barrier. And here I've just got my eye base brushes and a couple of other randoms and that canvas case. Here I've got my travel brushes, my synthetics. I do have my travel Kayaki Sonia in my Sonia G bag, and that's different. But these are like, you know, for just throwing in my makeup bag and being on the run without having to worry about my delicates. Over here, I've got excess Fude that I still haven't used. Up here is my Luxie brush collection that I just finished washing and drying. So they're all nice and clean. Here is my Luxie brush collection. They're all nice and clean. I can't find this drawer right here from when I was using them in my eyeshadows to keep them like my eyeshadow palette drawers. I reorganized my eyeshadow palettes to where I'm not using these in the containers anymore, and so I put them back in the acrylics, but I can't find this one container here, so I don't know what to do about that. But up here, I've got all my like gel pot liner brushes, and so this here is the makeup that I'm decluttering today, and it feels really good to get that out of my stash. And over here on this side, I've got my makeup brushes and my Pat McGrath palettes right there. None of that is going to go. Here I've got my BK Beauty collection, and here I've got my Sephora and my Smashbox collection, and here I've got all my random favorite synthetic brands. So yeah, that's it. That's gonna do it for today's video. I feel so good about getting this excess stuff out of my way. And yeah, now I feel like I'll be able to do a much easier shop my stash and find the stuff that I actually want to use each day, and get some good like get some good wear out of some of my products so that I can get more like usage lines showing along the way. Anyway, that's going to do it for today's video. Oh, and if you're wondering, these are just brushes that I decluttered. If you're interested in my brush collection declutter video, I will link that up here in the eye and down below in the description box. Check that one out now that this video is over. Here I've just got my OPI nail polish collection, and up there is the foundation. So yeah, I've just got a couple of palettes here that I've been like playing with lately and stuff. And that's it. That's going to do it for today's declutter. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please be sure to click the thumbs up. If you did, please be sure to click the like button. It really does help my small channel out so much. Make sure you're subscribed for more content from me in the future. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.